viewers out there, you're welcome once again to Sports Orbit. My name is Afa Cho. Salif Usman is also in the studio with me. Salif, welcome to Sports Orbit.
Thank you, Ashu.
Yes, of course. So, for yesterday, the Nigerian sports community, I think, in the daytime, were jolted with a breaking news that had to do with the scrapping of the sports ministry, and in its place, the National Sports Commission is back. And of course, people were thinking who will be the new helmsman in charge of sport in Nigeria. The name Shehu Dikko, not a stranger when it comes to sport in Nigeria, popped up, and of course, there have been mixed reaction to this appointment. Well, while some have congratulatory him, some sections of the sports fraternity in Nigeria are not too comfortable with the appointment. Salifu, I mean, we all saw this story yesterday, and of course, even for me too, it came as a shock when I heard Shehu Dikko's name, as a new helmsman in charge of sports in Nigeria.
Yeah, just like you say, it was one of the shocking news. Well, let me say congratulations to analyse Shehu Dikko. He need no introductions when he came to Nigeria. Sport, particularly football. Yeah. What many people know him is in the game of football. He has been the league management LMC chairman since 2014 till the very about 2 years ago when he was kicked out of that office. And at the same time, he has by the virtue of his positions as the chairman of the league management committee, was also the second vice chairman of the Nigeria Football Federation. He was the right man partner of Amaju Pinnick. So him and Amaju Pinnick and the like of the current general secretary run the show of Nigerian football for over 8 years. And when people had thought that Shehu Dikko might have gone leave the space, well, he staged a powerful comeback yesterday, and then congratulations to analyse Shehu Dikko. In all honesty, Shehu Dikko, he has the pedigree to manage Nigerian sport. He's a no-nonsense person also in terms of how to get job done, getting sponsors for sport. That is all we know much about him. We know how to look for funds and finance the game, and we believe that he will be able. His appointment will rub positively on the Nigerian sport, not Nigerian football league, on the Nigerian sport. But before now, his territory was just limited to the game of football, particularly the league. Now he has a larger responsibility to ensure that the game of basketball progress, the game of volleyball progress, the handball progress, boxing progress, athletic progress, all sports in Nigeria develop, and we hope that Dikko will have a good legacy to leave behind. And talking about the scrapping of the sport ministry, is all everybody has been cramming for. People, most of the sport analysts, sport experts, and those who read the sport management believe that sport will be best triumph when it's under sport commission, not under a ministry. Under a ministry, why people before now were obviously kicking against the sport be run as a ministry. It's called, you can't allow sport to be run by a civil servant. Exactly. Civil servant that can be posted from anywhere. In most cases, most of them don't even know what is sport, don't have background about sport. Particularly the immediate past minister of sport who was exited the office yesterday and moved to the trade and investment. Before his appointment last year, he know nothing about sport. He became first familiar with the game of sport when he was appointed on that job, and that was his first time. He admitted by himself that he know nothing about sport before. All we heard about him was a politician and a farmer. So several, if you look at Nigerian sport from at least let's look at under this democracy in the last 2 decades, the only person who has managed Nigerian sport as a minister and has a background in sport was Sanu Danusa. Even Sanu Danusa by his calling is an engineer, but people know him. His name is synonymous with sport in the game of tennis. So he's the only person that has been appointed as a minister and he has a background in sport. But all this while, people have just drag people come in. But if you look at it in the past, when we have a sport commission brief, when the last AKG was a DG, AKG was a former athlete, former coach, people who ran the sport and you know it's running in the sport. The Dr. Amos had done the same thing. Then Alasa Yakumo did the same thing. when we now move, when it become a full-fledged ministry, and from under the last decade from the Buhari administration, when he appointed Dalon know nothing about sport. He came in, then after Dalon, then a journalist was appointed. Solidarity, and then here came a farmer who was appointed as sport minister. And if you came to if you even come to the mix, unlike the past, when you have people who are grounded in the sport, the people you have in the ministry now, the PAMSEC, the directors, most of them don't even know nothing about sport. So that's why people were clamoring that let's have a sport commission back, to the extent that we been going to have sport gurus, sport experts to be in the shadow of sport. And we hope that we now, it's just the appointment of the minister, chairman that have been announced. So we are patiently waiting how Tinubu government and Gucci, now working with the Dikko this time now, are going to constitute a sport commission to ensure that we have people who know how to run the game, who are grounded, who are background in sport, will be positioned in a various position to ensure that Nigeria sport trial.
Let's move on from that now to some other stories. This has to do with the new FIFA ranking released yesterday, where Nigeria has moved up just two spots from 39th to 36th position in the ranking, which was released of course earlier today on FIFA's website. In Africa, the Super Eagles also moved up as they climbed from 6th to 4th position. The Eagles are behind Morocco, who are Africa's highest ranked team, and in 13th place in the world, while Senegal is 20th in the world and Egypt 30th as we go. So Nigeria, 2 spots, they've moved up from the FIFA ranking. Well, could this be attributed to the
maltreatment?
No, not maltreatment. I mean, of course, their recent AFCON performance.
The 1-0 beater against yes, the match that we played under the review was the 1-0 beater against Libya at the Gulf of Aquabi. So at the third leg, we all know the fiasco that followed it up to today. That even reminded me, we were expected to hear the CAF decision yesterday on that matter, but still up to today, up to this moment, CAF have yet to decide when most Nigerians and even the Libyans were patiently waiting on how CAF, what stand CAF is going to take on that matter. We are still waiting till today, and it's over 24 hours, more than 24 hours now. That decision has not been released when the CAF promised to release that decision. But kudos that the Super Eagles have moved from now 40 in Africa, and if you look at those that are ahead of us, to some extent you agree, Morocco by all standards are far better than Nigeria and the men and the rest of football. They are everything. They put Senegal, and if you look at that achievement, Senegal's and Egypt to some extent. So I think it is not a bad idea. We were ranked 6th before in Africa. Now we have moved up to second, and now fourth in Africa. We believe that there was a time we were leading in Africa, and we hope that gradually, and because if you look at the Super, it just says some certain things are not going in our favor. If you look at the current squad of the Super Eagles and looking at the current squad of other various national teams, I dare to say it anywhere that no squad based on individual players. No African national team has the caliber of squad the Super Eagles have. But what is lacking at the moment is our ability to manage these stars of players and form a formidable team.
But you won't even blame players because have we had a steady coach? That's even where the problem is.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Exactly.
I think what we have is individual players.
Exactly.
And if you look at if you compare by the pendings of individual players that are in the Super Eagles and looking at other national team, what they have, we obviously have a better player than other national teams. But our challenge is how to manage these stars and form a formidable squad. And how do you continue that is the job of the coach. And at the same time, even the administrators having a favorable ideas and favorable a seamless situation arrangement that the players can form it and play together.
Right away from that now to the WAFU Under-20 Championship currently taking place. Of course, Nigeria will be in action once again today, this time around against Cote d'Ivoire in this match. The side lost 1-0 to Burkina Faso in the opening fixture in the competition, and while they would need a win to stand a chance of advancing to the semi-final, while for Cote d'Ivoire and Burkina Faso, who have 3 points each in the group, a draw will be enough for the Ivorians to advance to the last for the WAFU Under-20 Championship. Is the qualifying tournament for the 2025 Under-20 African Cup of Nations. Of course, so for the under 20. You know, after that first game, a lot of people came out to say this is one of the worst under 20 teams they've seen in recent years. And of course, people are complaining, the likes of Bami and what's this other player's name? Who, if I can remember, have been in the last, have been in the under.
Yeah,
like,
they have refused to grow
exactly.
from
So
that.
I really don't understand. You can't tell me that because a player is still under 20, then he continues to be. Once you played it, is either you move him up or you
It's
discard
only,
him.
I think it's only traditional team.
Yes.
And no, it's just of recently I begin to see, just like to see. I hardly see a player who play in the other 20 for consecutive times.
Exactly.
Once you play for one tournament
yes,
and then you
you
move
move
up. But we are beginning to see that the recycling of the players, that in some of them are even play for their third time
exactly.
in the 20 competition. But it's really unfortunate. I think just it's like most of teams are against Nigeria now because we are not looking at developing the game at the grassroots, and we are struggling to produce young stars.
Yes. Only looking for ready-made stars.
And this is the areas we have dominated in the past.
Exactly.
The last time Nigeria won this under 20, I think we have the highest record of winning the under 20 record. And the last time we have won was West Champions last one in 2007. Ever since then, we hardly win, even qualify for the final. We are always struggling. If not, we used to dominate. Apart from dominating the other 20 at the African level, and even the other 17. Apart from dominating at the world level, we also have an appreciable impact at the Africa. But in the recent time, we even hardly qualify for this.
Exactly.
And these are some of the things the current administration of the Nigeria Football Federation need to look. What is terribly wrong, and of course what is terribly wrong is because of our focus has now been shifted to looking at the players who are playing in Europe, who are those who have already made in Europe. Yeah. If in the past, most of the players who play most of the players that went to the World Cup or play at the were always locally made. The likes of if you can just fast track it backward, even on that during the 2017 when Yemitela take the balls to the final. Of the 17 when the world was in 2007 in South Korea. Most of the like of Aruna Lukman, Ibrahim Rabiu, they are all homegrown players.
Exactly.
And then he came back to the Santos. And when he come to the 2013, when the likes of Kelechi, Hena Shore and all those, they were all from the local scene. It's after then that they all moved forward. But now you cannot see that for the 17 national team, for the 20 national team, a coach is that investing is begin to look who is playing, who is playing. And just like you say, Bami has been there for almost this thing. There's another one again.
I can't remember his name. I think there are two of them who are in this current team. Yeah.
Who once played for one club in Akwa Ibom. Yeah. Odeka. So one guy that you play for is academic club in Akwa Ibom. But those players have been only around. When if you recall when Ladambos was aged and the current coach Juberu was given the appointment, people were hoping that Juberu was given that appointment based on his achievement with El Kanemi Warriors, taking the club who are within the National League to get a promotion to the Premier League and won a Premier League FA Cup at the expense of established club like in the Premier League. People believe that given that job in with the technical committee can do better. But when you begin to follow the same footprint of Ladam Bosu, the same footprint that the Lam Bosu failed, it's just a matter of time we will begin to see the field, and over here just in the field. The opening match against Burkina Faso. Now you are between Debu and Edna. You must get a result against Cote d'Ivoire. And if you don't get a result against Cote d'Ivoire, automatically, and as it is now, Burkina Faso has 3 points, Cote d'Ivoire has 3 points. So Cote d'Ivoire, the worst Cote d'Ivoire can expect is just to play a draw. And a draw will be favorable for them to progress to the next round. But you must get a victory to get. And even I don't even know, it may be a class at them. If you get one of the 3 of them, it's a 3 group. If they beat Cote d'Ivoire, depending on the number, they're not beginning to look at how many numbers of goals. So they have a whole lot. If the most goes to the next round.
All right, let's move on to the NPFL. Of course, this weekend, match week 9 fixtures will be on if we have those fixtures. Let's go through them. Of course, it will be Bendel Insurance who will host Abia Warriors, while this time Lobby Stars playing in Lafia as the adopted home ground will host Bayelsa United. Ikorodu City FC will travel all the way to Aba to face Eyimba, while Heartland, still with one win so far, will host Remo Stars, who are really flying high in the NPFL. Katsina United against Niger Tornadoes. Enugu Rangers will be in Ilorin against Kwara United, while Nasarawa United will host Ahmed Musa-led Kano Pillars. Plateau United versus Sunshine Stars. Rivers United, El Kanemi Warriors. That should be an interesting one, while Shooting Stars versus Aqua United. Well, for Rivers United playing at home to El Kanemi, Rivers United yet to taste defeat in the NPFL this season.
Yes, and at the same time, Economic Warriors also yet to test it.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though Economic Warriors, when the Mona have had the group, they always manage to get a draw. And they get their first victory last weekend. Probably by the time they visit the Garden City, this time around, they will be able to get the best result against the River United. But for me, another most interesting, in all the features, if you look at all the features, are all interesting games for Nigerians, fans in the Nigerians to watch out for this weekend. But for me, I'll be interested to have my focus on what is going to happen at the Lafia Stadium when Lubick will square against Bayern United. And in the sense that Daniel Amokachi, this is his fourth match. Daniel Amokachi is a very known name in Nigerian football, and people believe that he giving that job Lubick that he will be able to submit the Lubick. Yeah, he started well, getting the draw in his first two games, 1-1 and then 2-2. But he was taught a bitter lesson last weekend by Ikorodu, not just Ikorodu United for that matter, who have struggled all this season. He went to Ikorodu United and then he was beaten by 4-2 for 4-2. So now, obviously, there's going to be a serious focus on Daniel Amokachi and his team, how he'll be able to bounce back from this defeat and they should at least to get his first victory of the season. That is an interesting
Heartland FC versus Remo Stars. Of
yes.
course, Amunike still struggling with Heartland.
Yes,
and Remo Stars. I think topping the law currently, so league leaders will be against Heartland. This should be a difficult one for Heartland, even though they are playing at home.
A difficult one for Heartland for Amunike, most important who competed, who was complaining bitterly that referee from him of
in the last match,
in the last match against Lamboso Bayelsa United. So, and now coming against the league leaders, Remo Star, a private owned club who has all the motivation. It's going to be another tough one for him at the Dana Iron Stadium in Owerri. But we still always believe that Amunike has what it takes to manage to turn everything around. But in as much as we see him struggling, we are also trying to urge the owner of the club, which is the Imo State government, the governor with the hope name, and hope is to be able to provide hope for the Heartland so that Amunike and his team can excel.
Exactly. All right, let's go to some foreign news now. This time talking about boxing, where Tyson Fury, of course, a rematch has been set for Tyson Fury versus Usyk. This will take place in December in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And this time around, Fury said he expects that this should be a different match. According to him, he's going to knock Usyk out this time around.
It's not about expect. But how can you know about expect? Not that, but you just come out and say I expect. Yes, I have what it takes to knock him out. You just come out boldly and make a bold statement. But based on what I see in the last match, I'm afraid for Fury.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no need to pretend about it. Based on what I saw in the last match, and I don't see what magic or what kind of training or that Fury will receive now that will be able to turn down the table against a Ukrainian. So obviously, if he cares nothing, maybe this may be the last match of his career.
Of course. Yes. All right. Like I said earlier, that match comes up in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. And of course, in recent times, Saudi seems to be hosting a lot of high-profile events. Just even last week, there was this exhibition match between Nadal and Djokovic on one of his farewell games. So Saudi Arabia are beginning to really host a lot of high-profile sporting events.
So it's like Saudi Arabian before now. The word Saudi Arabian is known for religion.
Exactly.
When you mention Saudi Arabia, you always think it's all about Islamic affair. But now they have been able to diversify. And there's also diversify the economy. They are oil rich nation. But they have invested a whole lot. I may be wrong, but if you check around and based on the statistics and the facts on the ground, I think there's no any country in the last decade or thereabout that has invested so much in sport that the way South Arabia has done. Not just one sport. Apart even every talk of golf.
Exactly.
There's
so you see that so many
currently there's even there's a rivalry between the golf professionals. Golf professionals in US who are also complaining that those are playing in Saudi Arabia either to compete together or to compete. So Saudi Arabia has even tried to take shine over the Augusta, the professional golf in US. The same thing now they are moving to tennis, bringing the best of tennis, the legends to come and play an exhibition match. Boxing in the last 5 years about is all about
almost all the top boxing matches have been in Saudi Arabia.
The only problem they have now is about the women football game. Now they are trying to hold the women football game, but the women most of the women professional players are against that. Saudi Arabia has always, in their own protest, that Saudi Arabia has always deprived women in playing football all this while. So it's only women football that have not yet so much competed. And then even recently, they also hosted it's swimming, but the women swimming, but which men were prevented to be a fans at that swimming. So it is only women that were allowed to go and watch the women swimming, but no men was allowed to go there.
All right, let's move on from that to the Champions League. Of course, yesterday and Tuesday, more interesting matches went down. Of course, and the biggest story everybody's talking about was the match between Bayern and Barca, actually, where Barcelona, it was who came out victorious 4-1. It was against Bayern Munich in that one. And for their coach, Vincent Kompany, he said completely Bayern were outclassed by Barca in that one. Rafinha on a hat-trick on that night, and what a shocking result it was, if you ask me.
You know, there are some certain things where people say, if you look at the game of football, in as much as the game have gone scientifically that it's no longer about the age, but it's still about experience.
Oh, sure.
Either you like it or not, you can never compare Flick to Kompany.
Not at all. And don't forget that this is a club that he coached before, won so many titles with them, so he understands the club very well.
When Barcelona go all their way to go and beat Flick, people are just looking, and you are beginning to see this. So you can't expect Flick on the other bench and see Kompany on the other bench and expect the result to be equal. So I think the Kompany, and it's good that he admitted that he was taught a bitter lesson, and I believe he'll be able to learn from it. But he has not done badly since he came out as a Bayern Munich.
Yet to lose
but yesterday, but this clash between, but clearly told him that the Kaki and Leader are not the same.
Of course, let's take a look at other results. Of course, Arsenal were in action Tuesday, 1-0 slim victory was.
Yes, because of an own goal. Because an own goal by the opponent, but at the same time by the Saturday defender. And the most interesting thing was also a rematch of the final. Last year final, and Dortmund and the Brazilian Vinicius Vinicius Junior clearly showed that he's the right man for the Ballon d'Or. Clearly demonstrated, showed that even with the presence of all when Kylian Mbappe arrived, people were hoping that Kylian Mbappe is going to outshine those boys, but again that Vinicius don't even feel that either Mbappe is on the pitch or it's not at all. And the Brazilian clearly demonstrated why is the contender for this year Ballon d'Or.
Of course, when that match initially, when it was 2-0, people had thought, well, Dortmund were going to run away with this one. But of course, Bayern had other plans. Real Madrid had other plans and came back solidly, in that one.
You can't come to the home of the champion, a record holder who have won the title more than any other club, and hope that you just beat them 2-0 and move away. They'll teach you the run with a legendary coach like Ancelotti.
Exactly. Of course, let's look at other results. For Milan 3-1, it was over Club Brugge. Monaco 5-1 over Krasnodar. Well, Arsenal, we said that. Of course, Aston Villa 2, on the winning side with Bologna, Girona 2-0 also. Juventus losing that one to Stuttgart, while for PSG and PSV 1-1 it was. Atalanta played a 0-0 draw with Celtic, while of course Leverkusen couldn't get past Brest in that one. 1-1 it was. Atletico Madrid lost 3-1 to Lille, another shocking result it was yesterday, while Benfica also losing to Feyenoord. Well, for Liverpool, seems to be doing well both domestically and in Europe. 1-0 away over RB Leipzig. Man City 5-0. It was a Haaland double, ensured that that game was put to bed on time, while Salzburg lost to Dynamo Zagreb, then Inter 1-0 over Young Boys of Switzerland.
Yeah, many surprising results there, particularly the Dynamo and even the Leo beating Atletico Madrid 3-1 at home. Quite shocking. But the most interesting game so far, Aston Villa appear to be doing something very. The Emirates appear to be trying to do something special with Aston Villa. They clearly show that their top 4 finish in the Premier League last season was not just a fluke, and the way they are going this season
also.
This season, in the 100% record, 3 game, 3 win.
Exactly.
So fantastic results so far. And I believe that Emery and his coaching crew and his team will be able to sustain this momentum.
All right, let's go to the EPL. Of course, interesting matches will be on this weekend. Also, if we have those fixtures, let's have a look at them. Of course, the EPL gradually is taking shape, and I think the star match for the weekend will be, I think, Liverpool should be taking on Arsenal, if I'm not mistaken, or Man City.
Liverpool, Arsenal, and Arsenal is coming to this match at a very, very, very wrong time. Arsenal, they are not in the best mood of the moment, having all their players on the injury list, and the most unfortunate thing was the red card to Sullivan, who get a red card in their last game against Bournemouth. Now he's going to be suspended in that match. So you can imagine how Arsenal is going to cope with the absence of Captain Martin Odegaard, the star striker Saka, and now their main defender, their defense was Sullivan. But now people are looking at how Arteta is going to manage this situation. Now he may likely going to drag Thomas Partey into the right back.
Exactly.
But either it's going to work, it's another different thing. And with Man City in the right frame at the moment, how Arsenal is going to face Man City at the it might be Arsenal is going to face Man City at a very, very wrong time. Liverpool facing Liverpool at a very, very wrong time. Liverpool appear to have almost 100% record, both Europe and Arsenal coming against them, particularly on the back of the defeat last season, and having key players suspended for this match is going to be in football. Sometimes when you think that it's going to be 1 + 1 equals to 2, it is definitely 1 + 1 will not give you the 2. But Arteta has boasted that they are going to confront the match with all they have, and let's see how it's going to be. But if you ask me, Liverpool is on the positive side going to this game than the way it is for Arsenal. And
of course, other interesting games: United, West Ham should be one to look out for. West Ham not neither here or there this season. Then United too still wobbling and fumbling will be against West Ham. Another interesting one should be Chelsea, Newcastle in that one. Interesting games. Then of course Everton, Fulham. He will be facing his former club in that one.
Yeah, fantastic match, and for Man City, we're definitely going to have an easy ride this weekend over Southampton. If you hope so, but to me, that's how it's look on paper. But this is definitely going to be. But for Chelsea, surprisingly, they had a good match against Liverpool last weekend. When one thought they're going to hold Liverpool to a draw,
that's really unlucky.
But quite unlucky. They dominated the game. But let's hope that they were. Masrakas and his boy are going to come back with that defeat and against Newcastle. Newcastle are not doing badly, but it's going to be an interesting tie for again these two sides, particularly Chelsea and Newcastle game.
All right, that's our package on today's edition of Sports Orbit. God willing, we'll be back to another exciting edition next week, and of course, like we said, Flying Eagles will be in action later today against their Ivorian counterpart. We hope it shall be a victory for the Flying Eagles.
And our girls, after their defeat, after beating the host 100% record so far,
we'll be facing England.
Facing US.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Facing
in the quarterfinal.
This is going to be very. They beat US in the quarterfinal in the last edition of the competition. But whether they're going to repeat that same
Yeah.
feat this time around. But if you look at it so far, the Olokere girls appear to have shown every opening in that competition as a threat. That they are a threat, they are a force to reckon with.
Exactly.
So anybody coming against the Flamingo will be more afraid of the against the Flamingo, will be more scared of the Flamingo than the Flamingo scared of the opening.
Yeah.
But I will hope that if you look at the one surprising the one that the other thing that's satisfying about that game, those girls, they are pretty young. I think in terms of their age right, we 100% got it right. Those girls are very pretty young. I even see that some of them are even low, beyond 15 or less than 15 or 15 years. So we hope that those girls will be able to get. The US are not doing badly, but they are not doing well. In this competition, the strong, the wobbling to qualify for the quarterfinal. I hope that the local girls will get a better result against and progress to the semi-final of the competition.
All right, that's our package. Thank you for being in the studio on today's edition of the program. Until we come your way again, do have a wonderful time. My name is Afa Cho and his wife now.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.